Yeah. Yeah. Hey. 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 Head. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? This is Tenfold for Show. My name is Corey T. We got a special guest.
Hi, I'm Karen.
That's Big Dog Karen T in the house. Hey. But anyways, so today's situation is a little bit different. I don't have my host. I don't have my co-host. I don't have my big dog Dre. You know what I'm saying? Stay strong, stay black. But anyways, we kind of switching it up a little bit. This episode is a teen edition of Tenfold for Show, where basically we are going to talk to a teen in the current generation of life right now. And we're going to kind of get some insight on how they think, how she think and how she kind of go about her everyday life in society, how she feel about certain things. So we have a few topics lined up, and we'll just get right into it. One time for All right, so today's topic is first point that we're going to hit is diversity. Karen, how do you feel about diversity in today's society?
In today's society,
break it down.
I feel that people are more accepting and is way more diverse.
Right.
We're more knowledgeable about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're being educated more on diversity, different cultures. And just in general, especially with social media, you're able to put out where you're from,
right,
and people can learn about it. So it's just ways different. It's more ways for you to get to know about it, which just, makes it better. True that.
And like I said before, we jump in the gun. Hold up. Karen, how old are you?
13.
13 years old. All right. So she's 13. And basically, so to elaborate on that point you just said, do you feel like there is diversity, in school? Like, do you feel like you are amongst a diverse, group of friends?
Yes, I do. I have a diverse group of friends, but that's just, my friends.
Right.
It's different, cliques, and between those cliques is mostly just one group of people, one race.
Right,
but
right.
I say my school is actually really diverse with different cultures, different just backgrounds, and we have lots of things to do for those.
So they teach certain things?
Not necessarily. It's more like activities
right,
that come and go, multicultural, which lets you show your culture, like dances, foods, which we didn't get to do, because of COVID. But
true that.
That's what they have.
True that. Okay. So another thing we're going to hit on is, how do you feel about some African Americans on social media in regards to how they act, how they carry themselves? And I'm speaking on your generation because I'm pretty sure you follow your friends, you follow, whoever you are inspired by type of thing, or if you want to just be nosy. But anyways, you follow who you follow. So how do you feel about, let's start off here with African Americans on social media? Not everybody, but just in a general sense, I guess.
You have your different types of African Americans.
Right.
Some may be a little more outgoing than others. But I feel you have one group that's just, the funny group, the comedians.
Right.
The kept to themselves ones. And one I know is very popular now is the ones who thrive on the fact of being black,
right,
and just want to express, their blackness.
How do people express their blackness? How do you express your blackness?
I express my blackness by putting up.
No, that's what you do. You say, "Hey, here you go. I'm black."
Mm-hmm. And when I have to educate you, I just,
you kind of shut them down.
Say what I say.
Right. So one thing also that you mentioned before is basically learning let me just say it like this, your experiences and the things that you encounter. Do you feel like that has shaped the way you think about people or the things you do?
Yeah, a lot.
How so? Can I get an example? Like, even you been that you just got out of school. Give me an example, like from school, I guess.
Of encounters that I've had.
Yeah, that you like kind of looked at it and was like, I might want to stay away from that, or maybe I should be around this type of person, or maybe I should kind of watch what I do, or just whatever.
Okay. So there. Recently, everyone knows the BLM trend, and that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say BLM trend because to certain people it is a trend. It popped up and they followed it, and then they stopped after a while because it got boring to them or nothing showed up that appeased them anymore. So certain people at my school think they saw it as a trend, and for a second they was like, yeah, black queen, we love that, and tried to hang around you more because you're black. And I even saw kids coming in, there's a difference, the kids that would come in with their Black Lives Matter shirts because they actually supported Black Lives Matter, and then the ones who wore them as a clothing statement because it was cute for the moment. So one time we had a protest at my school. It was, supposed to be like a peaceful protest on Black Lives Matter. And
were you a part of that protest?
No. I was not a part of that protest.
I respect it.
And this is why. First of all, my school is middle through high school. And just for background, the people who came up with the protest were 6th graders.
Right.
And we already know, even though they're exposed to Black Lives Matter and just all the information, the mind isn't mature enough. You're still a kid going around. You're allowed to run around the school. So, yes, there were kids going to that protest with good intentions to actually put out the fact that this is Black Lives Matter. Then there were ones who went there because you got to get out of class and go run around the hallways. So I saw a couple of kids going live, and you could see from the videos that
they wasn't really for it. Got it.
So the entire middle school got in trouble for that.
Really?
Yeah. We got a little talk.
Oh, they had to sit y'all down and they had to talk about how important it is and how serious it is.
So how does that make you feel growing up, seeing that people take advantage of certain situations like that?
It's disgusting.
Great question, producer Cody.
Not. I'm gonna say it was black people doing that. I'm like,
really?
You're black. How are you gonna take advantage of the moment? So it wasn't just black people. I'm not gonna say that, but it was mostly black people.
It mattered to the most.
Right. And it's just like that. Just adds to the stereotype of black people. So it's just, you try as much as you can to educate those people, but to an extent, it's a certain amount of people you can educate, and some people don't change.
And something else that I find interesting is that, I'm going to go ahead and compare the generational gap between you and myself. You are 13, I'm 26, double the age. So it's kind of like, me growing up, I wasn't really exposed to a whole Black Lives Matter protest, or they sitting us down because of something, or people taking advantage of this, that, and other. So being that I grew up, I feel like you guys have a better advantage to really see how the world is. Because when I was growing up, we didn't have we had social media, but we didn't have it to the extent that we have it now, where everything is recorded, everything is broadcast, everything is shared, passed around or whatever. And it's just like, at the end of the day, I feel like it's a good thing and a bad thing, because it can kind of disturb your mind to think a certain way and kind of close you out if you're not an open-minded person. Because you can be like, ooh, that lady just called this black boy, blah, blah, blah. And now you calling a Karen. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, ooh, it's a little different. And I just feel like me growing up and you growing up is completely like 100% different, basically in the sense of, you know, what we was exposed to. I was exposed to like going outside and doing this and that and other. Nowadays, you kind of don't even want to go outside because you never know what's really going to happen to you. So you lose that key point, or that I call it key point of life in a sense, because you still go outside, but you don't go outside as like I did. Like we playing hide go seek, we're doing all this, we're doing this. And do you feel like that in itself have set you back, or do you feel like it has kind of put you forward in a sense? Or if of what I'm really trying to say is like, how can I put it? Like, do you feel like social media has hindered you in any type of way?
Definitely.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's very different hearing you actually agree to something like that, because most people be like, nah, it hasn't hindered me. I'm this, that, and that. Like, so how has it hindered you in a sense?
Social media, it, especially now, in a sense, it can make you grow up faster than what you need to be. Because like you said, back then you were outside playing hide and seek.
Right.
Now we're trying to find a way to not become fat because we see on what we see on social media, right. And we're inside starving ourselves and trying to like, oh, I can't wait until I'm 16 so I can get this and that and this and that, and we're waiting and we sitting here and we're just like looking on social media and all this stuff that's probably most of the time not even real,
right? And
yeah, it sets you back. And some people are not exposed to that, to knowing how you're actually supposed to be acting,
right?
And I had to learn that, because I'm gonna be honest, there was a time where I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this, because you have people saying, you know, grow up on social media. You have people saying you need to grow up. You need to stop all this. And then you have people, now they're like, yeah, no, you need to stay in a 13-year-old's place. Right. And it confuses you sometimes. And it's hard sometimes. It is hard sometimes. Yeah. It can do a lot to your brain.
Right. Do you feel like it could create some type of anxiety or depression in the sense of trying to balance between, okay, I want to be a kid, but I also see this on social media? Mm-hmm. Yes. Like, so how do you personally deal with that? Because I know you're saying it's tough, but you're not saying, like, how do you deal with it? Like, do you say, okay, well, I'm going to choose to look at this video, I'm going to choose not to look at it, or I'm going to choose to look at this post, I'm going to choose not to look at it, or if you see certain things, do you block certain people?
Yeah, you just have to learn how to
filter it out,
censor it. But yeah. I don't even know how I fully do it.
Right.
It's just from the people I'm around, I hear them and they're telling me what's right and what's not right, and just growing up like that in a type of family. But some people aren't open to that type of like talkative family, just getting to know all that, so they don't know the full, even I now don't know the full like advantages and disadvantages of it. But I'm just saying, what I would do is, you know, stop looking at that type of content, like pull myself away from it,
right?
Try to do something else with my time. I try to get other people's opinion on it,
right?
Just to see, you know, just what other people think about it.
I got you.
Yeah, so it like you said, it can cause like anxieties and depression. It's hard, especially in this time during the teenagers, especially for my age, because you're like, am I a child? Or am I a teenager?
Right.
Am I supposed to act older, or am I supposed to act
like a child?
Right. Am I supposed to get the kids menu? Or am I supposed to get the big plate? So, yeah.
So that is one thing that I feel like everybody experiences in a sense. And that's, you know, trying to balance from being a kid to the teenager to the adult. And it does become a conflict within yourself, because now you're trying to say, okay, stay in a child's place, but I'm this age, or like you just said, you're just trying to find the middle ground, and it's hard to pick and choose because now you look at certain situations and you're like, wait, I can do this here, but I can't do this now. It's like it's tug of war. So producer Cody has a question.
So I just want to step in real quick.
Go ahead.
And by the way, this is my sister. Hey, girl.
Hey.
But I have a question.
It's the recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a question. So when I was your age, I dressed a certain way.
Okay.
I kind of dressed how you dress now. I insert a picture of Carrington's attire. I think she is phenomenal with the fashion. But I kind of dressed how you did. Looking at a lot of 13-year-olds now, I get kind of confused because I see them and I think they're my age. Let's be in mind, I'm 27. How do you feel about that? Like,
so the whole dressing, not inappropriate,
now,
but just the dressing up.
Yes.
Okay.
How is that not influencing you when it's like mass majority?
Right.
It's okay. I'm just gonna say personally, I don't dress all the, like big crop tops and short shorts and makeup and all that type of stuff. That's not really my focus. But I will say I do know people who do. It's mostly where I see it coming from is they trying to fit in because, like I said, people are pushing you to grow older than what you need to be, and it's.
Take your time.
You gonna cut this out, right?
Yeah, we chop it up, make it look good. Okay. Or we keep it in, make it look good.
Places your influence on, like family life, depending upon what your family believes in and what they let you wear, then is who you hang around. Because some people hang around people that are older than them. Some people hang around people that are younger than them. So it's all about what you are around.
But you hang around me, so how do you feel like it's the mindset?
That too, yeah. It's. Ooh, I think that looks cute, so I want to wear that too. But I don't really like that. But it still does influence on you. You can pick up certain things about that, but not the entire thing. So,
do you feel like your friends have a major influence on what you think and how you move as a person?
Yeah, a lot. Like, I will say, just as an example, like certain like little catchphrases they will say.
Right.
I'll start saying it too, or just like
you're a real OG.
yeah, like that.
What up, OG?
But I mean, if it comes to an extent where it's like they're doing something that I don't like or just don't think is okay, I'll pull myself away from that. But like I said, there's still people who don't know how to do that.
That's why I like Carrington, because she can separate herself from the puppies versus the dog. Yeah, big dogs.
And like, I can say, yeah, I don't like what you're doing. But like I keep saying, it's some people who just don't know how to do that.
And I'm not going to brag, but I do like to give props when props are due. Carrington can do straight A's and B's.
Right.
She's about her work.
Right. And
she gonna do what she have to do to get it done. Carrington not gonna let nothing influence her. Carrington is 10 tones down about what she believe in and what she gonna do.
What she's at for.
And I can commend her for that.
Yeah.
Because I have yet to meet a lot of young ladies, young women like her. And Carrington, I just want to say I appreciate you, and I want you to continue to do and be the bright young lady that you are.
Right.
And like I said, I don't mean to brag, but give flowers when they do. And Carrington.
Tonka.
You just won a brand new car.
But yeah, so it's kind of cool to kind of get this insight and see how like you think and how you go about your everyday life, because at the end of the day, like I said, I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up like you. Also, you were female, so is different.
Ooh, that makes a way bigger difference
Yeah.
between male and female, because you see now it's a lot of things, a lot of info coming out about how women can be doing the simplest things, and you know, something will happen to them.
Right.
So bad things will happen to them, and it's just like, yeah, that's your fault when it's not their fault. But men, I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen to men when it does, but it's more likely in women, and it's harder for us to do things because we're scared. Like how people will, like how now people will go under your car, and you can be getting in your car and they'll have a knife and like slash your leg so you won't even be able to get inside. And it's mostly happening to women, so it just makes you, you know, scared.
So I think that's my biggest fear. Also being like, you know, a father of a daughter now, and it's like I don't want nobody to hurt no female that I'm around, in a sense, and or in general. I don't want them to hurt son, and like I don't want to hurt nobody. Like I just feel like I think I would lose it if it came to, you know, one of y'all getting hurt, and it's just like it creates a, not a fear, but it creates a thought in my head like, don't do it. Don't do it. Y'all whoever y'all crazy people out there, don't do it. Like, but it also sucks because it does create a fear within my mind, within your mind, within just trying to go about your everyday lifestyle, and you kind of got to watch your back, but it is what it is. But yeah, so I don't know. I think this was good. I think this is good. I like the whole aspect. It's different because at the end of the day, I was 13 once, and I literally wasn't on the same level. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I was not on the same level. I'm gonna be honest, I was childish. My mind was elsewhere. I was thinking about playing all the time. I mean, but also as a guy,
but it's there are some disadvantages to that, like
right.
Like just adding on, makes you grow up too fast, makes you worry about too many things because you're exposed to more things.
You can enjoy
worry about it, and
I got a point too.
It's just like you gotta keep watching out every 2 seconds to make sure, you know, I'm doing this right, and it just adds on to the fear. And
you almost miss out on being a kid. You miss out being a child, being a kid, being a teenager, being a young adult, and you kind of get so riled up into a mental state where you are taking on more than what you have to, and you're not even technically at the age where you should be thinking like, oh, I can't even focus because my mental capacity is just going crazy, and I'm thinking about this, that, and other, and you forgetting to be just you, or you forgetting to be, you know, that age, and it kind of sucks. And I feel like that's why I really wanted to have this conversation, because you grew up faster than I did, in a sense, overall. Whether most teens want to disagree or not agree, but I mean, disagree or agree, but teens now are growing up way faster, and the mind is developing way faster. So by the time you get my age, the way I'm thinking now, you're gonna be past this. I'm telling you, you're gonna see more, you're gonna do more, and it's just like, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Producer Cody, you about to say a question or a statement?
I was gonna ask her, does she feel like, because of how fast you feel you have to grow up, do you feel pressured to maintain
what?
The whole stigma of having to be
right
older?
In certain aspects, yeah. Like school now, for example, especially during COVID, like I don't know why, but teachers felt that was an excuse to add more work since we were online. They're like, yeah, since you're home, you're going to be able to do this and this and this.
When really you distracted.
And yeah, right. And like that's why I had to go back to school, because I was sitting there. It was a repetitive everyday thing, just like 10 assignments per teacher, and it's just like on and on and on and on and on.
But like I said, let's bear in mind, Carrington was still getting it done. No
Yeah.
excuse.
True. But some people can't do that because even though you're at home, maybe your parents can't be home. They got to go to work.
Right. Your
Some people,
environment might be
you got to take
different.
care of your siblings that's also here. You got to do your work.
Right.
You got to clean the kitchen, clean the house. So it's you got to keep up with it, and it's hard. It's
Right.
hard to do that. And sometimes even still now inside school, to an extent, it's kind of easier, but can't get away with it easier. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Once again, thank you for being on the teen edition of 10 for Show.
Thank you.
Once again, I am Corey T, and this is Hey. And thank you, producer Cody, for the input and the questions also. So, yeah. We out.